Hey everybody, it's Wednesday, and on Wednesdays, what that means is that I'm on my website Wednesdays, and YouTube. So if you've asked a question on my Monday video, because I tried to just pull the questions from that, or maybe a most recent video, like yesterday I did my live broadcast with Brent, aka Bradlebees. So if you had questions on there that I put in the comments, hey, I'll get to that on my Q&A, this is the Q&A for you. And on my website, if you have questions for next Wednesday, you go into community forums and you select, I think it's video Q&A, and then you create a topic and you put in your question and I will get to it answer it. Phew, that was a lot, it was a mouthful. So anyway, so that's kind of how to navigate that. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you my haul because I just picked up things from my P.O. box and I got some really fun things. So stay tuned for that. It's very exciting and I'm very excited. But without further ado, the first question coming from my website is, how do I cope between my CBT and EMDR therapy? By discovering more and more each session, I find my urges to self-harm are getting worse, my anxiety, flashbacks, etc. What should I do? Now, first of all, I'm so incredibly glad that you are getting CBT and EMDR therapy. For any of you who aren't very familiar, you can definitely Google EMDR. And it's really a rapid eye movement kind of therapy. I know that sounds really hokey and really weird, and I personally don't do it, but I've had many clients who've had a lot of successes when they're coping with a traumatic past or sexual abuse past. It can really help us talk out those details and issues so that we can slowly work through it. And I'm so sorry that you're having anxiety and stress in between your sessions. I do know, like you said in your question, I kind of condensed the question, but like you said, it can make things worse as it gets better. And I talk about that a lot because as we bring things up, those things can stir stuff we haven't talked about for a while in us, and it can make things worse before it gets better. But keep doing what you're doing, keep pushing through. And in the meantime, I would really encourage you to pick up that Courage to Heal workbook that I talk about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can head to my website and look at my Amazon widget because I have it on there. I have a link to it. And it's just the best workbook. I was talking to Brent about it because he picked it up, and it's got just the verbiage that she uses is very soft, and it's just so nice. It's such a great workbook. And the tasks are great, and you can take your time at it. But I think in the meantime, in between your sessions, that will really give you some relief. So I would give that a try, okay? Now, the second question on my website is issues with pregnancy and recovery. How do I know if my body is ready? Will I ever be able to conceive? And this question came with one of my followers who has been in and out of recovery and been at her ideal body weight or goal weight for a few months, and she's just wondering if her body will ever be able to have a baby. And I know many of us worry about that because that's definitely a side effect of having an eating disorder, is we can lose the ability to conceive. But for this person, and I don't know if she wants me to say her name, but I would go to the doctor. I'd make an appointment to see your OBGYN or whoever your gynecologist is that you see. Make an appointment, get checked out. I have a friend who's trying to conceive too, and she's a little bit older, and so she was telling me kind of the process. In the first appointment, they'll do a regular checkup on you, and they will they can draw some blood and check your hormone levels. So that will be the first thing, to see if your hormone levels are stable, which we need proper nutrition to keep our hormones, hanging out in the right levels that they need to be, right? And then the second thing that they'll do, if your hormones come back okay and you're still having trouble, then they'll I don't know if they make you ingest the dye. I think they shoot dye up into your uterus to see if there's any scarring or any issues with your fallopian tubes. Because that can tell us, because sometimes we might not even have an egg there and we don't know. Or we might get an egg every other month and we don't know. And knowing when we're ovulating can be really important, so make sure you're counting your days. But we don't know if you've given up your, ability to be a mommy. You could still be a mommy. We just have to do some extra things when we're in recovery because there may be issues and things may be a little bit harder. But I would go get checked out, breathe, because I know every month you said you're feeling really, really disappointed when you get your period, and let's just give it let's get things checked out and give it some time. It can take people a while to conceive, especially if you just went off birth control. It could take a long time for that to get out of your body. So breathe, honey, we'll get through it. and let's just take it one step at a time. We don't need to leap ahead and think we know what's going to happen, right? Because we don't. So, okay. On to question 3 from my website. How severe does my anxiety have to be in order to be diagnosed with social anxiety? And this person had this particular question because it was brought up in therapy, but her next therapy appointment isn't for like a month, and so they never really got to a diagnosis or anything. And I'm reading out of the DSM, and this is the old DSM. I've ordered my new one, but it's supposed to arrive when I'm wedding shenanigans, so I'll get it to it when I'm done. So, now, social anxiety disorder is also called social phobia. And I think the main thing is that whatever it is, when it comes to the DSM, it has to be affecting our life day to day, like all of our interactions. It talks about it here that it's the essential feature of social phobia or social anxiety disorder is a marked and persistent fear of social or performance situations in which embarrassment may occur. Exposure to the social or performance situation almost invariably provokes an immediate anxiety response. So if that's happening, if even the thought, because I know in your question you said that, going out with friends and being in big, busy places is overwhelming. If that is something that's hindering you daily in your life and you don't do things because of your anxiety and your social anxiety, then I would estimate that you do have social anxiety disorder. And probably the next time you see your therapist, if you bring it up, they'll let you know. Okay? I hope that answers that question. I know a lot of you had questions about anxiety disorders and OCD and stuff like that, and I'll be doing videos on that in the near future, so stay tuned. Okay, number 4. Now this is off of YouTube and under my last video, which was chronic illness. So if any of you missed that video, you can go back and check it out. And this question says, does chronic illness make mental health issues due to an actual physical cause? So does chronic illness cause mental health issues? So it's like, can you have the chronic illness? It's almost like which came first, the chicken or the egg. So if the chronic illness came first, can it actually cause a mental health issue? I mean, in this, I'm just reading their exact question. I mean, like a counselor once told me that being inactive and not being in the sun as much, etc., causes a low level of serotonin and therefore can cause depression. Is that true? And it's definitely true. I find, I currently only have 2 clients who have a chronic illness that I believe the chronic illness caused the mental health concern and why they're seeing me, but it can go either way. A lot of times if we have the chronic illness diagnosis prior to our mental health diagnosis, that's usually the way it goes. But if you haven't been getting help, then right, we don't know. We're like, which one came first? But many times if we have a lot of chronic pain, that can definitely lead to depression and depressive thoughts and anxiety about getting out of the house, because what if I get in such severe pain I have to sit down, or what do I do? It can definitely happen that way. And you can find that out by honestly spending more time journaling and talking to your therapist about it, about which do you think came first? Do you think that the mental health concerns came because of the chronic illness, or you already had the mental health concerns and then the chronic illness showed up too and just made it worse? So yeah, that can definitely happen, and it can definitely go either way. Number 5, the final question. I have lupus, fibromyalgia, a myriad of medical conditions. And my dad's side of the family basically thinks it's all bullshit. They keep trying to corner me and break me down for faking my disabilities and leeching off the government and my relatives, etc. How do I deal with this without cutting myself off from my family altogether? Last time I did this, I ended up homeless, and the PTSD stuff, that's what happened at that time. It was really bad. How do I deal with this? And to be honest, the best thing to do, and this is what my therapist actually tells me, this is something that I've been working on, when there's people in our lives that we can't get away from, we have like those toxic people, like it sounds like your family's definitely not supportive and not helpful. What do we do to distance ourselves when we can't just cut them out of our lives? Like you said, you ended up a homeless teen, and we don't want that to happen. I try to help my clients feel like they're putting on armor every day, okay? I wouldn't talk to them about your struggles with your medical conditions or your mental health issues. I wouldn't talk to them about that. I would have supportive people like friends, treatment team, and stuff like that you go to. You can journal. You can vent through vlogging if that helps. Even if you don't want to post it, you can still just make a video and watch it later if you need to, feel that cathartic feeling that we get. But take the time to vent it out to people that are supportive, and I would just completely cut them out from that portion of your life. I know that chronic illness and mental health concerns feel all encompassing, but if we have to keep our conversations just on the surface, like, yeah, today was kind of nice, it was a little humid and sunny, and I went and got a coffee in the afternoon, and I mean, it doesn't matter what you talk about. I just wouldn't talk about that, because if they're just going to give you a bunch of shit about it and tell you that your actual issues are bullshit, we don't need to invite that conversation, right? And if they bring that up, change the subject. I have a video I talked about changing the subject. I want to say it's in my equations and calculations video. Wow, I don't remember. I've done too many videos. But I would change the subject. I would bring a support with me if I know that I have to be there with them, and that they're going to probably bring things up. I would make sure they're there to help. Because that's a bunch of bullshit, right? That they feel that way. You have diagnoses. They can't deny that. But some people just, we can't fight with them. So let's just not deal with them with that topic in mind, okay? Now for my haul. Okay, first, since this is on top, this is from Amy. Look how cute this little dog is. Oh my God. And look at what she sent me. Now these are super cool. And Amy, I will get to using these after the wedding when I don't have to have my nails done. Look at their little their trees and their little, what do they call them? Nail decals. So I have to paint my nails with a clear base coat, then put them on, then smooth them out, paint them again. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. These are amazing. And also, Lauren sent me, I'm pulling off her Post-it note, sent me a copy of the newspaper that I was in. Remember, for all of you, when I did that, whatchamacallit, the live broadcast thing with Lauren about where she asked me questions? I'm in a newspaper in Iowa. So thanks, Lauren, for sending that. And also, I loved the little journal where you put all those pretty things. And there was the Minions. Oh my God, Sean and I Minions. Sean and myself. So cool. And last but certainly not least, I got this beautiful wedding card from Mondi. She made it. It's private stuff inside, but it's very sweet. And she made it all herself. Isn't that pretty? Look at that thing. And then she also sent this little, I don't know if you can read it. It says, friends are the family. I don't know, is this backwards when you guys look at this stuff? But it's a book of quotations for friends. So I'm so happy that you're my friend too, Mondi. And thank you so much for sending that. So that was very sweet. I was excited. I showed up my P.O. box and I had all these things in there, and it was so exciting. So thank you all for sending that. And if you need my P.O. box information, I can put it down below. And everybody have a wonderful day. And for you in the States, enjoy. Tomorrow is 4th of July. Woo, woo. So wear your red, white, and blue and go to a barbecue or light off some fireworks. Or my favorites are the sparklers. So maybe you can get some sparklers and, doodle in the sky like I always love to do. But have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye!